A Theory of Roots by Vincent Spina. Hours will have passed, have already, aligning themselves into years, volumes, but to what extent? To what end? The day you are walking along an otherwise carefully groomed trail of a nature preserve, cut out from prevailing homes, highways, and golf courses, when you stumble over a network of roots, a labyrinth, sort of, rising from the ground at one side of the trail and sinking back at the other. And this concerns you, or rather, you and somehow the roots have become the focus of a concern that, rising from nowhere seemingly, suddenly contains you, while at the same time leaves you out. A restless twisting and turning of the living fiber, observed for an instant, then gone. Tunneling through the soil, gathering sustenance, churning up the grains of sand and loam, the dead and molding matter, as though far-fetched as it may be, it were a rich, brown and granular cream, slowly, infinitesimally slowly, being churned into an even richer butter. Much the way, but at this vegetal scale, fingers, crazy in love, knead and caress a breast or a chest. No words exactly, but there is once again, in these so-called knees of a cypress that spring up from the soil, mirrors, on a dwarf scale, to those mountains in Chinese paintings rising from mist-drowned valleys, Shanshui, mountain water they are called. You saw them once in a museum, behind glass casings, and here they rise from earth, and a top blanket of dead palmetto fronds and crisp brown live oak leaves. Thinking, or not thinking at all, it seems to fit, or is it the constant desire to make things fit? Whirling about, but slowly, very slowly, a sort of fractal, this complexity or complicity of pieces joining together, falling apart of the organic and the mineral, the caress of the root running through soil, and all that is becoming or is returning to soil, may someday be a theory from vegetal root to human caress. A principle of organization appears or seems to, a plan neither wholly here nor wholly not here, at the same time and place, something to be rounded up or wrapped into an equation worked out on a mathematician's chalkboard, or becomes the object of a lover's obscure desire. The carefully groomed path dead ends among mangroves and a view of the bay, and this concern that contains you while leaving you out radiates into the roots of these mangroves that raise the whole tree above the oxygen-deprived mud, otherwise potentially alive with what the land drains into the sea and what the sea renders in exchange. And, in this way, the tree breathes. It all seems clear now, though just beyond the boundaries of an explanation. This breathing of the plant and of the tide ebbing and flowing as if a pump's machinations were at work, which is exactly what it is. The attraction of moon to earth, earth to moon, a love affair on a universal level. Imagined, real, and now, how the low tide draws out the fiddler crabs, endlessly waving their one oversized claw to the sun, attracting a mate, warning a rival, and how the high tide brings in a random shark pup to find refuge among the mangrove roots, from pelagic hunters before it too becomes a pelagic hunter. And this play of predator and prey, the breathing in and breathing out of earth and moon, may someday become a theory. O prayer, why hast thou abandoned me? Into thy hands I commend my spirit. And where and how it begins as a seed, the way a seed of a strangler fig tree nestles in the hollow of another tree, germinates into thin vines that reach downward to earth, where they take root, becoming vine and root, and how the veins multiply, widen around the tree, reach down, becoming more roots, and join each other around the tree, until the tree disappears within the labyrinth of veins and roots, so that the fig tree kills while meaning no harm, so that lovers of figs may come someday to eat the fruit. The way some vague and hardly felt sensation, such as the touch of sunlight or moonlight on the skin of the great-grandparent of your great-grandparent, takes root in an old man you have known all your life, and never known, whose gaze is now focused on the pigeons he has raised his whole life, and he is one in their flight above him, or in the face of an old woman whom equally you have known and not known, as she discovers for the first time the beauty of a river she has crossed and recrossed her whole life, and grows in a letter you are writing, or in the play of a certain color you paint on a wall or a canvas, or in a melody you hum to yourself, a color or melody you mold in clay or sculpt from stone or carve in wood, a theory you devise, a desire